We've got roll call. And first item on the agenda is approval of the January 18, 2018 minutes of the Green Bay Housing Authority. You all have that in your packet. Any additions, corrections, or modifications? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve?
Make the motion to approve.
All right, we have a motion and is there and a second. Again, any further discussion or questions? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Election of officers. Anybody want to be an officer?
Please.
It's really hard work.
You make such a wonderful.
The vice chair really does nothing except when Bill's not here, so it's not a bad job if somebody wants it.
Does anyone want to nominate Bill for chair, maybe?
I'll nominate Bill for chair.
Does that need a second? I'll second.
I thought that was a gimme.
Well, why don't, so the
it.
officers are, I'm the chair, Sandy's vice chair, and I don't think we have a secretary or a treasurer. You're technically permanent secretaries,
Right.
so we don't have treasurers.
So those are the only two officers.
Yeah, just the two. So
Right.
is there a, can we amend the motion to just have, retain the current board? Unless somebody
Will you
wants
amend that,
to,
Terry?
Yep.
unless you want to step down.
No, I'm fine. I'm fine.
We got her. She's
It's
in.
easy.
She's in.
Called it 3 times?
No,
Okay.
because there's
Not a
only
public
three.
hearing.
Okay.
4 of us, yeah. All right, so there's a motion and a second to retain the current set of officers. So is there a second, just to confirm for the record?
Sure.
Got a second? All right. Any further discussion, questions, whatever? Otherwise, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
And thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Moving on, communications. Are there any late communications?
No.
No, all right. Any old business? No. Item number 3 under new business, consideration with possible action to approve audited financial reports.
It's not technically old business because we pushed it back.
Yes.
I still need it approved,
So
where it falls.
yeah.
And of course, you know what, I packed my office up and I packed those. So
I didn't have any questions, so I'll make the
Okay.
motion to approve.
Okay,
Yeah, you gave us all copies. I'll second.
Yeah.
okay.
We have a motion and a second. Any further questions or discussion? Any, let me clarify, any changes since the last packet of documents you gave us?
This is an audit, so it will not change.
Okay. All right. So we have a motion and a second. Again, any questions? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 4, consideration with possible action on reviewing a Lead the Way training.
So you saw in the report that Robin put together that there was a suggestion that I think you maybe go over the Lead the Way training every month and kind of do a review, is what she's gotten here. So if that, I mean, is that something that you would like to do? And if you would, is there a manner you want to do that?
I
Is
think
really the
we've
question.
already done all of these
Right.
modules, so yeah, I think she just wanted to do the next one,
It was a new one.
a new module, and then everybody review it until, for next month.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
because
she-
it really says continue to review portions of the Lead the Way
Because
training.
that was
so-
brought up, that the information, you know, just so we don't forget it.
Yeah,
Right.
we never, I don't think we ever did review that last.
The new one?
Right.
The
No.
new one, the last module.
Because she said that they were going to review it at this one, but then she wasn't going to be there, so
Right.
the email said that we review it at the next meeting.
Yeah.
So, and that just, I mean, that's just continuing the program the way it's set. The
Right.
question, I guess, is do you want to go back and review the ones that you've already been through, I think is the question.
Yeah, I think
If you
it's
have a
always
need to do
good.
that or not, or,
I think it's always good to do that, but it would be the need of the board, you know, what would be their preference.
Like if someone new came on and wanted to know something kind of thing.
Well, it's just that, does everybody just want to do one every month as a review, and then we continue to go through and to remind ourselves? I don't know.
I don't have any preference one way or the other, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, we just went through them a year ago, so.
All of those existed before my tenure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So you
this
haven't
is-
gone through any of them?
and this is,
Yeah.
I think this is a program that you go through that, you can go through them on your own and.
Yeah.
Yeah, just not
By
a
module.
computer.
Please send
Yeah.
them to me.
Yes. Just the time.
You can go, you log in and you go on there,
Right.
the system and just review them.
Sure.
Well, why don't we, what about if we just, sort of as a continuing review, do one every other month or something, rather
Okay.
than.
And I would be fine with that,
Yeah,
yeah.
rather than devote a, time segment each
Every
month to do
time.
one, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
What is the time commitment?
they don't take very long to do each one of them, about 20 minutes.
20, 30 minutes.
Yeah, yeah,
And then I think the review probably would just maybe be an overview.
right, just
Like,
what does it say?
You know what I mean?
You know,
Right.
this is what is in that thing, there's really no changes or updates, but does anybody have any questions on
Right.
anything?
That
Sounds
sounds
good.
really
That sound good?
reasonable.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's do one every other month, but next month will be we'll do the last
The
one.
new development.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, I don't think we need a motion on that, it's just,
So we just unanimously decided upon.
right. All right. Item number 5, consideration of possible action on approval of annual plan update to the 5-year plan, including certification of compliance with PHA plans and related regulations, Resolution 18-01, Civil Rights Certification Residency Advisor Board comments, and certification by local officials of consistency with consolidated plan.
That's a mouthful.
Wow.
So this
Yes.
is really the
Stephanie has that, and it's in our packet.
yep, it's in your packet, and this is the requirement that every year you submit this annual plan.
Yep,
Right.
this is just.
To the 5-year plan. I think the only thing that is really different is the fact that we're going to need to dispose of one of the scattered sites, sell that to the city for the widening, and then replace that. I think
Which
that's-
one?
It's 708, 711 North Webster. It's the duplex on North Webster.
Sure.
So I know Robin has the appraisal into HUD for review right now. They've made the offer, so it's a matter of getting the HUD approval and finding the comps, finding another site. We need to, so.
Okay.
So would that be something that be checked under one of these? So like B2, it says new activities, demolition of deposition, or disposition?
And that,
It's
that's
under
your-
C,
It's under C?
Yep.
Okay.
C1, new activities, demolition and or disposition.
Okay, so the same thing, okay.
Otherwise, I'm assuming this is the same plan that's submitted every year.
Yes.
So that the difference is the check and the demolition
Right.
Yes.
disposition.
I think it was on there last year.
It might have been, but I think it's been on there for a while, but we've actually
Well,
gotten
we
to the
haven't
point where the
evolved.
city actually is,
Put in the offer.
Gonna need it? Okay.
All right, is there a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
And I'll second. We have a motion and a second. Any further questions? All right, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Item number 6, consideration with possible action to approve resolution number 18-02 to allow the executive director to approve submission of unaudited fiscal year-end financials to HUD. Resolution number 1803 to allow the executive director to approve submission of unaudited fiscal year-end financials. Audited fiscal year-end financials to HUD. And resolution number 1804 to allow executive director to approve capital fund processing. That is also.
So, what this is we're just trying to make sure that we have resolution saying that you're giving our executive director the authority to sign off on these things. I would really like the unaudited approved, because that, I have 2 months after the close of my year to get everything done, but sometimes there's changes right up to that last minute because I get stuff trickling in.
Sure.
And if I have to try to make the third Wednesday, like this one is the 15th.
Before the meeting, yes,
I have to
yes.
get all this stuff done before the meeting.
Yeah.
It's very, very difficult. So if Cheryl has that approval power, then I can make sure that I have everything in for the unaudited.
That makes sense.
Audited, I think that you should still retain that power because that's, I have 9 months to do it. The auditors do it. There's no changes. I usually bring it to you well in advance of when I have to do my final submittal. So I think that you should still approve that prior to me submitting that. And then the capital funds, we do changes regularly on where things are. And that gives the executive director the power to sign instead of me having to wait. Sometimes there are time crunches on what I need to do. So it gives her that power to sign and get things through to HUD. And this is just documentation. We've kind of been running a lot of this way anyways, but this is like documentation that we can now, because HUD is requiring it, send to HUD, so we can say, yep, this is our approval.
So I make a motion to approve those resolutions.
I'll second.
Except for number, what is it, 3?
With the exception of the executive director approving audit.
Audited.
Audit.
Correct.
So you'll do.
I didn't know which one
Yep.
that was.
So you'll
it's
do-
1803.
Yep, you'll do 02 and 04, but not 3. Okay?
Is there a second?
Bills.
Did you second it?
Did I-
So that's why I'm
Yeah.
not gonna.
Did I
vote on
make
it.
the
Make a
motion?
second.
I made the motion.
Oh,
you
I'll second it.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. Any further questions or discussion? Otherwise, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 7, consideration of possible action to approve use of unrestricted funds to hire or contract for a service coordinator not to exceed $66,300 for the first year.
Okay, so you know that we made an application to try to get this funded through a grant that we did not get. We did not receive that. And we've been talking about the need for social work assistance for Mason Manor and scattered sites. But, at this point, I would ask the board if we could hold this for a month. Because just in talking with staff, I'm not sure that we need a full-time position to do that. And I think we might be able to get some of these things accomplished by working with maybe some graduate students in social work or, utilizing, someone to that effect, maybe for less money. I guess I'm not convinced with the full-time at this point. So I think if we could just hold it for a month, that would be, I would recommend that we do that.
What was the, question I have, what was the salary based on? The $66,300?
It's different than the grant.
Well, I think-
Salary, wasn't it?
I think, this was the sheet, this is the Lutheran Social Services, where I think this is how they would have billed us.
Oh, so we would have contracted with
We would have
LSS.
contracted with
Okay.
Lutheran Social Services for the grant amount.
How come?
They have 66,295. I think they
Contract.
provide that service, so it would,
Yeah.
I don't know if they worked with other agencies or not to
They
to
do,
write
they
this
work with
grant
other
up.
housing, yeah.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? So I think it was to write the application and make it kind of easy to do this. I'm not sure, though, that we want to go this route now that
Okay.
we're going to do it ourselves.
Okay.
So I think I'd like to explore maybe some potential different options and then just hold this for a month. Because I
Right.
think it's needed. I think it would be a good resource to us, but I think we could maybe accomplish it in some different ways.
Sounds like a good service.
Mhm.
Build to see some more diligence in place.
Yeah.
I will move to table till a later date. Is there a second?
I'll second, but I have a question.
Yep.
So when you say that we're going to do some of this in-house, what do you mean?
I mean, well, now, we would need to hire somebody ourselves, whether that's a graduate student or it's a part-time
Okay,
position.
that's
So
what
in
you mean.
in-house, I mean, like, the board would have to decide what
Okay.
type of position and how we'd find
Okay,
it.
I was just thinking you were going to put some duties on staff, and I was going to say,
Oh,
aren't they
these-
also overworked?
These guys
already?
got plenty of
Yeah.
time, they're gonna be
Okay.
social workers.
Yeah.
They actually are social workers now in
Yeah.
some capacities, but.
Yes,
many
oh, definitely,
capacities.
I know that, yes, but is that, yeah.
Okay, but yes,
That's all.
no, we'd be looking at bringing somebody new in.
Okay. and
The one
so-
thing that crops up with me with students is that consistency that,
Right.
that you're retraining and
I'd want a graduate student, probably if we could get a year commitment, that would be great.
that,
I
yeah.
think our dollars on the table relative to the grant stuff, I guess I'd like to see that again in comparison, if we're talking, you know what I mean? Just
Mhm.
if that made some economic sense, the way it was broken down, and I don't remember what the figures are, but seeing that related to the recommendation of the salary in some capacity would at least have some context to be able to compare.
Right, because you have, when you hire another agency, they have their own admin overhead types of things, so, including in this budget are there like stipends for residents, transportation, printing postage, things that if we had it internally, it would be a different number, I think,
Right.
than another agency, so, this is what Steph ran off, so just looking at it, I think we probably could get this accomplished with less money, is what I'm
Okay.
thinking.
And we're all for that.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. Any further questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Very good, thank you. Item number 8, consideration with possible action to approve third and fourth floor carpet project for lowest qualified bidder, H.J. Martin and Sons Incorporated.
Is the dollar amount for this work any different than the last floor we approved?
They are slightly higher than
Okay.
first and second floor, but some of that may do with the space, you know, not all the floors are exactly alike, and I know the first and second are two oddball floors.
Yep, as well as third floor is an oddball floor, and then 4 through 8 are all consistent floors.
Okay.
When you say oddball, just different hallway
Like
configuration.
if you remember when you walk into Mason Manor on the first floor, when you walk in, there's that big area, lobby
Mhm.
area.
Yep.
And then the second floor has the mail room.
Oh, that's right,
And
so
that-
it's a big area, the rest of
Yep.
them, okay, gotcha.
So, and we did, in previous years, it was like 12,000, so, and we do know that the cost of carpeting went up too, so I kind of expected it to be a little bit higher than what we had originally did.
I don't have any objection to this.
Yeah.
These are within $300 of each other.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, right.
They're all bidding the same thing. I'd make a motion to approve that.
And I'll second. Any further questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to financial reports and bills. Item number 9, consideration with possible action on acceptance of GBHA bills. Stephanie, anything?
Yeah,
to
that
highlight?
jumps out.
Well, we don't have a huge bill for Bug Blaster in there because we are getting
Yeah.
all of it.
Yay!
And actually it's
I
been
didn't
good.
see.
We have had a few people move out, but they've gotten security deposit backs, which is really nice. Because for a while they were keeping them all, which means a lot more work for our staff.
Right.
But otherwise, not too many new and different things. But that's right.
Is there?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll
I have a motion and a second. Any questions? Otherwise, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item number 10, consideration with possible action on acceptance of GBHA financial report.
In the financial reports, you'll see that the CFP report is also in there. The only thing to really note is our 2014 grant. We do need to have that spent down by the 12th of May, so we are diligently working to get all those projects that we still have in there wrapped up. So approving the carpet contract helps because that was one of them.
Okay.
Otherwise, we're just kind of starting to move along with CFP projects for the year because this is usually a lot of
And that's capital fund.
capital fund
Yeah.
projects. That's the grant we get every year. And then on our regular ones, we're still doing good.
Oh, you're little smileys.
Is the new pilot built into this coming up?
It will be in our new budget that I've started working on, but this is still the old
Yes.
budget, so.
Because that's going to come to the board in June, right?
That, hopefully before June.
Okay, like a first view, I mean, when's that, has to be approved in June?
It has to be approved by the end of June, so usually May I bring you that
The
way if
preliminaries
you,
and-
preliminary, if you want at that point, if everything looks good, there's no changes, you can approve and then we don't have to bring it back in June, but, yeah. So
Okay.
we're starting to move along on that.
So refresh my memory on the project, on the
Pilot?
Pilot?
Pilot.
We're paying, I think it's 35% of our revenues over utilities to the city or
Okay.
what they would have received for their
Correct,
portion
that
of the.
piece. Okay, all right, that's what it
You were
is.
squaring up with the property tax.
Yes.
Yep,
Once we
That's what
went
it
to the
is.
Finance
Yeah.
committee.
Yes.
and,
Bill
Multiple
spoke
times.
real assertively.
And
We're done with them.
That's
and
like-
talking to finance, they understand that it will not be for this fiscal year for
It'll be
us.
for the next.
It'll be in the next fiscal year.
Yep. And
And-
staff, congrats on all the work that you guys
Yes.
did, because, I mean, contacting HUD and going through all of that, yeah. Appreciate it.
My understanding from the last finance committee meeting, this issue is apparently done now?
This one is, yes.
Yes.
There
There
was
will be
a-
I
others.
couldn't make the last one.
There was
so.
a congratulations to
Alderman Nicholson.
Alderman Nicholson from Alderman Zima for making this happen.
Okay. So that'll factor into the new budget, along with the sort of increase in some other things to get more money back from the budget.
Well, that's a hard calculation to do, because yes, it'll be in our operating
Right.
grant proposal.
Yeah, so we'll see how that all
Yeah,
pans out.
hands out, yeah. Hopefully it will do an increase to help offset some.
Yeah, okay. Very good. Any questions, any further questions on the financial report? I will make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second.
A motion and a second. Any further questions? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 11, in the administrator's report and informational section. Item number 11, Langen report for January and February of 2018. That is
Nothing
in your
out of the
packet.
ordinary, just our regular applications that were sent in for background checks.
We have no investigations going on.
I don't know why it wasn't noted, but we do, we just closed out one investigation on one of our scattered sites properties that did end in an eviction, unfortunately.
Okay.
And then there is one Mason Manor and one scattered sites currently open right now.
Okay. So in our packet, we have Langen's reports for January 5th and March 2nd. Is
The
there anything
date
for
on
February?
the date on the January one is incorrect.
That's good.
I noted it when I paid the bill too. I'm like, this is the wrong date.
Okay. All right. Is there a motion to accept and place on file, unless there's any questions?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Again, any further questions? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 12, occupancy report for the month of March 2018.
All right, also in your packet, you'll see that we only have one vacancy right now for scattered sites that we should be hopefully leasing up by the end of the month. And then we do have one more projected for April 1st. It's one of our families that is receiving the Habitat for Humanity house, one of the new ones on Western.
Sure.
Yeah.
So we couldn't be, it's an extremely deserving family. We're very, very excited. It's just unfortunate that we're losing a tenant of 10 years, a very good tenant.
Wow.
So-
Yeah.
Yep, so it's give
That's
and
okay,
take.
yep, bittersweet.
Good for them.
We do have a very few amount of Mason Manor. We're around 96% occupied right now for Mason Manor, which is probably one of the highest in the last few months. If a unit doesn't require carpet removal and installation, we've cut down our maintenance turnaround time to around 3 weeks. So we're really doing a diligent job on that aspect of turnaround.
So we have how many vacant right now in Mason Manor?
7, I believe, 7.
So you have no, oh, those are upcoming vacancies. What is the application info where it says Mason Manor? You have no applications for the 2 bedrooms?
We do not have any applications for a 2-bedroom Mason Manor. Yep, they're all full, they're all occupied.
Correct, they're all full occupied, but you have nobody sitting on a wait list?
Correct, for a 2-bedroom.
Wow.
Well, that's one of the things we talked about as the team is we need to market Mason Manor and really get the word out there.
Right.
I saw it I saw the scattered sites in Community Connect.
Yeah, in
Yep.
general,
Yeah.
so we've been looking at different marketing and advertising to find good, eligible, qualified tenants.
But boy, if you're like 7
Yeah.
and 1 with a scattered site
There's
opening.
gonna be 5 on Tuesday, because I'm
Wow.
leasing one tomorrow.
How does that factor in the last, say, 3 years? I mean, do you always hit this high, or as far as
4.
occupancy?
Yeah,
So
normally
I-
they're very high.
Yep.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
this is.
When we
So
started
It's just
tracking
the
it,
pest
back up there.
control that has had
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of issues.
The bed bug issue
The
has
bed
been the
bug issue,
biggest
yeah.
impact.
So to see it coming back up again is fabulous, you guys. Good work.
They've done a really good job
Yeah.
in turning these units around.
Yeah.
Staff has out there, so kudos to staff for.
Yeah,
I know in
very good.
September, when we started making an Excel and just really tracking it every week, we were at 22 Mason Manor and I believe
Yeah.
8 scattered sites. So every week we've seen
Wow.
a significant decrease.
They're
But
really
we've
good
also
at
been
that.
having 2, 3, 4, 5 move-outs each month, so
Mhm.
we're down to 7.
So we
So
filled
that's
two.
Even
and
with
we
that.
get 2 more.
Yeah.
And how many two-bedrooms do you have?
5.
5. So do you think that people don't consider you a two-bedroom?
So all of our 2 bedrooms, the head of household has to be elderly and or disabled.
Correct.
So we do have our first minor in Mason Manor. It's a disabled mom with a 10-year-old kiddo, but a lot of they're long-term tenants in our in our 2-bedroom Mason Manor.
For the 2 bedrooms.
Yeah.
Right.
Almost all of
But do you
them
think
are.
that people don't look to you as a two-bedroom facility, as a place that has 2 bedrooms? They look at you more as the 1-bedroom?
I believe so, and
Yeah.
also because we always ask if the head of household is elderly and or disabled.
Right.
Because a lot of the 2-bedroom applicants that we're getting are unfortunately
Just single
a single
family
mom
with a-
with
yes.
a kid.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they just wouldn't qualify for the 2-bedroom
Correct.
unit.
Yep.
But they do know that we have 2
Yes.
bedrooms, because when they call,
Oh, they
we
do.
do advertise
Okay.
it. But we
That's
tell them
good
we
to
only
know.
have 5 out of the 154.
Yeah, I just wondered because that's unusual number for applications.
Yeah.
And this is, the number above that 28 shows how badly we need 1-bedrooms in our area.
I had a question. We had, for Mason Manor, we had 2 evictions. What were those for?
Non-payment of rent.
Ah, okay. Is there any, I mean, they just didn't pay, or was there some reason for it? or
Just
didn't-
non-payment of rent.
Okay.
So we proceeded with the eviction process as
Yeah.
we are
Okay.
required to with HUD, which is unfortunate.
What,
Yeah.
what happens with the duplex? Is it occupied?
Yes, it's fully occupied. So if we have another vacancy, or we can look at transferring those tenants, because those 2 are very long-term good tenants, so.
Does the city give us a timeline on it?
I think they're in the acquisition process now, but there's also, when the city acquires properties from these takings, there's full relocation benefits for those tenants as well, which means that they're being displaced. They're gonna take a priority for a voucher.
Section 8.
Section 8.
Sure.
They'll move to the top of the list if they choose to go that route, if they don't want to come to one of our openings, for example. But, and there's also moving payments that they're eligible for. and,
Oh,
you know,
good, 'cause I was
yeah.
gonna say, what an expense.
Yep, so really, the state of Wisconsin does a really good job when they relocate folks and the requirements and what's needed. So it's just a matter of if we've got something open at the same time, or which route they want to take. It's really up to them.
Very good. Anything further? Otherwise, I'll move to accept and place on file.
Put a second out.
Your motion and a second? Again, any questions? Otherwise, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 13, housing update report.
Okay, so for the residents end, it's been really good with the residents. They've been very more involved with staff, learning about our stuff. And they actually created more activities for stuff to do at Mason Manor. So our recreation room, where there's a pool table and the dart room, honestly, no one ever went in there. Now we have a dartboard league in there. I heard that other residents are teaching other ones how to play pool. So that's being used a lot now. One of the residents actually started a movie club now. We had it before, but the other resident moved out and there was no longer a movie club. But this guy just moved in and he started out, he pays for out of pocket to buy the movies because he wants to have it. So
Do they have a big screen TV?
Yep,
where-
they use the one in the community room.
Oh,
And
so
then-
great.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, so it's
Yeah.
very easy for them, and then they do it on Friday nights.
Oh,
So that's a new
fun.
thing that they added. We recently lost our bingo coordinator, because they do bingo nights on Tuesdays. But a lot of the residents stepped up, so we didn't have to worry about that. And then with the new residents, our meal program continues to grow for the
Oh,
ADRC
good,
program. And then on the staff end, we are down to 1 unit with bed bugs. But
Always the but.
yesterday, someone
no.
got me a bug, so now we're.
Was it an adjoining?
No, not at all.
But you know what, though? I mean, you could.
That they're doing that.
Weren't we
Yeah.
at 43?
Yeah.
At one point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, because this is, with all multifamily units in Green Bay, this is just an ongoing issue we have to
Yep.
stay on top of all the time, right? So I say kudos to you guys.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're down to
Oh, yeah.
one, and
That's
then,
amazing.
And that they're that you guys have educated them enough to report.
Yes,
right?
yes.
bring 'em, yes.
Yes,
Exactly.
yes,
Yeah.
it's
So-
great now. They all report each other. If the other people don't tell us, then other people do, which is good for the checking of furniture being brought in,
Yep.
because we do that now. But yeah, so far just 2 now.
So we have the
so.
bed bug police monitoring.
Yeah, there you go. Which is great.
Congratulations, you guys, that's
Fabulous.
awesome.
That is
Thank
great.
you.
That really is.
And then, of course, Reed's position was filled with David, and he started this week, and maintenance is super happy to have him on board. He has a great personality, and he's super tech savvy, so I think he'll be a lot of help in those areas.
So David was the student? Who is David?
He's new.
He's new.
Oh, okay.
We should have had him come to the meeting today.
I know our pump came in for our fire.
Oh, okay.
So-
Your
They're-
pump came in for your
so-
fire?
For our fire, or not fire pumps, our pump for our
Boiler.
boiler.
Oh, okay, sure. I'm like, you guys had a fire?
No.
You mean he skipped a housing authority meeting to watch them flush a
To
boiler
purge,
system?
to purge lines, get our heat back going since today was kind of nice, so yes.
Like 6 or
Where does he
8
come
dozen
from?
gas
Where-
Yeah, right.
His recent employment was at the reformatory.
Oh, okay.
He wasn't a prison guard or anything, but he was in their boiler room,
Oh, so his
Worked
maintenance.
maintenance that way for them.
Perfect.
he picked up our systems and
Awesome.
it was really great.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, if, in the future, if he has some full time, maybe have him come to one of our meetings.
Sure.
so we can meet him.
Sure.
And then did he get a run through by, God, why am I just blanking on his name?
Reed.
Reed, yeah. So did Reed do a run through with him, or is he just?
Reed has
learning?
been retired since December.
Correct,
Yeah.
so,
He
but was
can't
that?
he can't touch
Oh, he
anything for a
can't.
certain period of
75
time.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Didn't know that.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
Jeff's doing the run-through.
Yeah.
Well, good, wonderful, that is so great to hear. Because we all just appreciated Reed so much, and now to have somebody that can step in and.
Yep.
Great.
All right. Any further questions of the housing update report? And I think we also got the bed bug report.
Yeah,
Thank you.
2 in 1.
Yep, so
All right.
the only major thing is our next quarterly will be in April, so we will.
Okay.
I have a
Hopefully
couple of, I have
zero.
a few things.
Yeah.
Hopefully zero.
So, I don't think these guys are aware, but Jeff actually gave his notice at Mason Manor. He gave his 2-week notice. So, personnel approved filling the position. It'll go to council on Tuesday. We're going to have it listed right away, so we're going to try to quickly fill that position as soon as we can.
And what was his position?
He was, is he
Assistant?
custodian?
Custodian 2.
Custodian too, but it was
so
like
he was
Reed and
assistant.
Jeff
Yes,
worked together,
correct.
so now
Yeah,
we've got a new
okay.
guy, David, so we'll hire that new position. So we're on that, we're gonna do that quickly. We're looking at starting these capital projects this year, which include, we need to replace the roof. We need to restripe and resurface the parking lot. I know that, I think, was there a move of the exercise equipment into a different room?
From our old second floor office, we're looking at moving all of the workout.
Equipment that's in the tub
Equipment.
rooms right now.
Yeah, to try to
Right,
get that
into
into
your
a separate.
old-
So-
You couldn't hardly do any of the.
Right, so we're starting some of those
Yeah.
capital projects. Not sure if you are aware about the WIDA tax credit allocations, but TWG did not win that award. And I think we funded TWG,
Yes.
GBHA, that was a large
Yes.
funding. The Friary did, though. The Friary did get the WIDA tax credit. That's the property that was next to St. Mary's of the Angels Church.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna redo that, and then they're gonna do some townhomes. So we'll wanna look at maybe the reallocation of some of the funds that we did for different affordable housing projects. That's one of the things we'll look at, I think, with the budget.
Yeah.
Yep, it was like 530 or something.
Yep.
So that was something
There's
they
a
were
certain
asking
percent.
for, but we only gave them 300, does that sound
Well,
right?
it was, yeah, it was a
We
loan
did,
and it
you
was a
did
loan grant.
a loan and a grant. I believe we
Yeah.
ended up at 210,000. It was 105 grant and 105 loan, if I remember correctly.
Right. So
So it fell through.
they didn't receive
They
their
just
tax
didn't.
credit.
It's a
so-
lot of competition with
Yep.
the WIDA stuff.
Yep,
Wow.
a lot of competition. So I think as the Housing Authority, we probably should start looking at, as a team, other options we have for the creation of affordable housing.
So that whole project is dead then?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Usually when they don't get their WIDA tax credits,
Yeah.
the project dies.
Yeah.
You know, I suppose they may look at maybe coming back. I don't know if there's a possibility of us working with them on revenue bond or, you know,
Yeah.
something
How
like
big was the
that. but-
percentage? What was the tax credit?
I don't know. I know that it's usually quite big.
Mhm.
That's all I know, is that it's a big portion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unfortunately, oftentimes it's the make or break
Oh, yeah.
portion
Yeah.
of the
Well,
funding.
that's the red
So,
form,
right.
that makes sense. What's St. Mary's at the roller rink? What are they doing?
That's across the street.
Yeah.
Dating
So
yourself.
the building next to that is the Friary building.
Yeah.
They're gonna remodel that into, I think, apartments, yep.
Those are apartments.
And then behind it where,
It was a rectory, wasn't it? I mean, that.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
And then behind the church was that gated area with the trees and the path. That, they're gonna, in
As
that
far as
section,
the-
they're going to put townhomes.
Yep,
Are
they're
you
gonna
talking
leave
about the one
townhomes.
on Webster?
Nope, the one on, it's actually on Baird and
On
Irwin.
Baird,
Yes.
okay. Not familiar with that.
Yeah.
Cast in that neck of the woods, so.
Okay.
So as far as I know, that one's going forward,
Good.
so.
That's great.
Yeah, there used to be a daycare center for the hospital, or across the street was.
Right.
The old
Mhm.
Really?
nunnery.
Yes.
There used to be a daycare center for
Well, the-
St. Vincent's.
Huh.
The church proper's been on a couple preservation watch lists for
Yeah.
a long time.
Mhm.
And I know that there was a parishioner there that was trying to get its ownership transferred
Historical
to protect it from
demolition.
the diocese.
Well,
Yeah,
it's my understanding
sure.
that the developers will or have purchased the church and the friary, and then there's a deal where the
There's an
church,
agreement.
like a life estate with the church, that it
Okay,
can, as long as it's
that it stays.
parish, it's, the
Yeah,
church
so
stays the
he
parish.
Must
but-
have succeeded, I forget his name.
Yeah.
I'm on the Historical Society's board too. and
Oh, okay.
He offered it to us for $1.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know, like, we can't really own property, but thanks.
Huh.
That's great.
And then just one last thing, there was a communication put in to city council to refer to the law department to draft a resolution supporting the combination of the GB and the Brown County Housing
That's
One
Authorities.
of my questions.
So that, I believe, was referred to the law department. There's been no work on it up to this point, is my understanding, but as soon as I hear,
Is in continuation to last year's suggestion, the same thing?
Yeah.
Or
Yes.
Yeah.
another one?
yep, I mean, we've done the work on this, we've done the pros and the cons, we've,
Yeah.
you know, this board has made a vote on that, I think the BCHA did as well, but,
And
so,
both said to keep it status quo, so.
we'll see where that goes.
Just on that, just, if it gets back to council, whether they're ever going to talk about it or
Mhm.
whatever, let us know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was one of mine too, the
Yep.
timeliness. I get an email that there's a meeting tonight, or there's a meeting
Mm.
tomorrow, and I get it through the Housing Coalition. I don't even get it from the Housing
Oh,
Authority.
okay, yeah,
So
no,
I
like, we
think
would know.
That's good to know that you,
Sometimes that agenda doesn't get set, sometimes until like the Friday before
Yes.
that council or
Okay.
whatever those
And
meetings
late
are.
in the afternoon on
Right.
Friday.
But still, that would give you like 3
Yeah,
days
yeah,
or 4
that
days,
helps,
so
yeah.
I'll make a note of that,
because
so
the
we can make
meeting
sure to get
tonight
that
or
info.
tomorrow is tough, that's.
Drop everything.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll make sure that we get that notice out to you guys.
Okay, great.
cool.
That's all I
You
have.
covered
All
my
right,
question.
last item is meetings for April, May, and June are moved to room 310.
So we are doing an extensive remodel on the 6th floor here. So we're clearing the floor. We're doing asbestos, ceilings, the whole kit and
Wow,
caboodle.
that's gonna take how long?
Well, the contractor has until August 1st to complete
Okay.
it. So this room will be staging
Ah.
everything. So 310 is just, when you get off the elevators, 3rd floor to the left.
Okay.
Big glass doors, you can see it, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Big table.
When we switched to City Hall from Mason Manor, we talked about maybe an annual one there. Does it make some sense to align that with your construction efforts? or just
Absolutely. I
keep
mean, we
marching
could-
up? It's up to you guys, I don't
Yeah,
care.
yeah, that's
I mean, I'm
fine.
blocking
That's fine with
half
us
the way.
too.
Yeah, we can certainly set one at Mason Manor, no problem.
Seeing that
all those
Robin
bugs are
Fair
gone
now.
now.
Yeah.
Especially if Natalie's on injured reserve.
Yeah, that's true.
Easier to
Maybe we can get it.
Get to her.
Um, Yeah, and I always thought, too, is it possible to have the meeting in the big dining room?
The
The community room?
Yeah.
Oh,
Instead of
yeah.
that, I mean,
Yep,
that's
it's
more
open
open to the
door.
public,
Yep.
and unless they got something else going on in there, but during the morning, but,
They'll have to wear
With
neckties.
lunch, yeah.
right?
Yeah, sometimes we go until 12.
Nutrition program.
Yeah.
Nutrition program lunch is served at 11:30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean. we
Well,
can-
maybe
have to
we
have it
could-
earlier
You know, we could
meetings.
just move, could we move the meeting up an
Yeah,
hour if we needed to?
fine.
Yeah.
Before meeting there, does that,
Sure.
is that okay with the
Mhm,
note?
that'd
So
be great.
maybe when we meet at Mason Manor, we could even do it in April, maybe, depending how Nat's doing.
Sure.
And then
we'll
just have a
maybe
meeting
move
at
it.
9:30.
Yeah, and then we can be out for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we'll have one or two workers in and out, but they're very
That's fine.
quiet.
Yeah.
That's fine.
We're doing the review of the development
Mm-hmm.
video, so what time do they come in to set up for lunch?
Karen's in there at like 8:30, 9 o'clock. But she just does like the homebound meals, and then people don't come in for lunch until like 11:15, 11:30.
11:15, so we'd have to be done, so do we want to meet at 9?
Fine.
It's up to you guys.
Suits me,
If that works.
somebody do a formal invite.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think-
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And we'll
think
go out with the
9
time
would be
change.
fine only because we
Okay.
want to make sure that we're not in their way if something goes a little
Right.
longer, or if we have further discussion on something. I don't want us to rush things just for that.
That'll be the one meeting that'll take 15 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
And you know what, that'll be okay too.
That's okay, too.
Yeah.
All right,
Sounds good.
anything further? Otherwise, we are ripe for adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a motion, is there a second?
I'll make that second.
We have a second. All in favor of adjournment, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Very good. Thank you very much. We are
Thank you.
adjourned.
Thanks, guys, and good work,
All right,
you
I got a bunch of
guys.
things for you to
Really good
sign.
work.
Yes.